Making noise, talking about pro wrestling on the podcast. Big up boys, big loony guys. We be throwing down the rhymes, kicking it live, representing the Lone Star State every damn time. We got strong.
Whoa, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ring Rundown, round number 13. How's everybody doing tonight? We're recording on a beautiful, well, not so beautiful. It's raining out here. Monday evening. We're doing it on good old Labor Day because Mr. SP was slanging them. He was busy slanging them figs. You know how he does it. So what's up, big guy? Other than that, what's up?
Not much, man. Yeah, we're on Baker's Dozen, man. Big good old lucky number 13. You know, flip that backwards, you get 31 for 31 flavors of Baskin Robbins, man. Or good old Halloween, October 31st.
How long did it take you to come up with that? You thought that over for a while, didn't you? No,
Nope.
was that completely improv?
Right there on the spot, man. them improv tactics, you know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, everything's great over here, man. We're going to be late on our episode next week. Just a little warning. I'm going to get a car, and SP got stuff he got going on, so we're going to be a little late with that episode drop. But fear not.
That's why we're kind of late with this one as well too. As the homie DKZ just said, your boy was busy working some toy shows, trying to get rid of some things, offload some product to them people who are trying to find pieces to their missing collections, man. But today started actually out pretty good as well too. Met up with somebody who was selling a sealed box of 1991 WCW trading cards.
Let me full screen that real quick so people can see what you got there. There we go.
Yeah,
nice.
Picked this up from somebody earlier today. Couldn't resist. Had to open up a couple packs just to check them out and see what we got going on. But I mean, there are a crap ton of sealed packages in here. So apparently there's supposed to be some hidden gems up in here. So haven't really decided what we're gonna do with them, and maybe we'll do a pack rip here on the show, or I may just sell the rest of them at a toy show coming up. Your boy hasn't decided yet, so be on the lookout for that. Also had a chance to replace the stuff.
I was gonna ask about that. I was literally gonna ask about that.
Was able to replace the crushed box one.
Nice and crispy.
So we got a nice flat crisp all around. And this one actually has a little funny backstory to it. Is Target's website screwed up and put these up on sale for $36.99 or $39.99, something like that. $36.99. So I got these for about $100 less of what they normally run at $149.
I never have that kind of luck.
So your boy came up on a deal.
That is wonderful. My little nephew was hating on you because he really wanted those pigs. He's like, man, I've been looking for those.
Man, they seems like getting harder and harder to find. But every now and then, get lucky and are able to scoop some up. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. How about yourself?
I've been doing pretty good, man. Just doing my thing, working. We're almost out of our busy season, so that's the good news. It's been a little crazy over the summer, but yeah, just working, doing my thing. I kind of rearranged this room, added a shelf there with some LEDs. I got a new retro game set up right there. I got that screen for like $40. That's about it. Not much going on, man.
Say, why did you enlarge my cam to show off what I got? Why didn't you enlarge your cam to show off what you added to?
Because I'll be honest with you, I don't ever enlarge my cam. Let's see, I don't even have my cam enlarged, so I forgot to copy. I literally just enlarged your screen so I can hit my vape. That's the main thing I do. And you're the one that got the real cool stuff, so. But wait, hang on. Let me.
You should be proud to show off your collection of stuff that you got.
Let me fix that. Hang on, I'm gonna fix it. Let's go. Hang on, because we have something coming up anyway that I'm gonna want to. Give me 1 second. Let me fix this. Let's see. I'm gonna fix it. Let's give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna fix this so I can enlarge my screen. Let's go.
While you're doing that at them toy shows over the weekend, man, I was able to get a few new subscribers to the YouTube channel.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Your boy was out there hustling, trying to help build our empire. So
I'm gonna get out there pretty soon. I know I've been slacking on getting out there and hitting the streets, but to be very soon I will be. Things are starting to slow down for me, so I'll be able to get out more instead of being a little weird troglodyte and staying in this room all the time. So, but yeah, I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to go to some shows and stuff, and money's looking better right now, so that's the good thing.
All right, man. Well, let's stop wasting our viewers' time, man. Let's get into it. What do we got first?
Okay, so since we're already talking about toys, let's start off with our topic for the.
We're gonna go into our TOD, our topic of discussion.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that since we already brought out the toys. So, wrestling collectibles. What is your favorite wrestling collectibles? I got mine. I got that full screen going, so let me go ahead and use that real quick. The Maximum Sweat Figs. These are mine right here, my all-time favorite. I had them when I was a little kid. I love these so much. I don't know why, just the I know they're very, unrealistic, but I just love the articulation on these big hulking wrestlers. I almost got the full set right up there. All I'm missing is Kane, which I'm gonna buy that at some point. But shout out to my boy Chris. He sent me a good portion of these, and he just one day just up and sent them to me. So
yeah, those were cool because they came with like a little bottle that you could.
I got it up there,
water, and then I
got the little bottle
into their backs or whatever, and makes it look like they're sweating. So yeah, I remember those. But yeah, I always thought they were ugly looking, but I admire the design.
I don't know why they're ugly as shit. Don't get me wrong. I just like they're just big and hulking, and I just like big sweaty men.
I know. We all know you do. That's my secret. Hey, man, some of the comments that I was posting on Instagram, man, trying to engage and get more followers, posted on making comments on some of the other Instagram accounts that we follow, man. We were talking about the Randy Orton versus Gunther match on that on the Bash in Berlin card, and I made a comment saying this is going to be a good hard-hitting match, nothing but big meat slapping going on. But yeah, no, that definitely was a good match, and the fact that Walter gave his flowers to Randy Orton, which he's never done before.
We'll get to that.
Yes, we will get to that.
Let's talk about some figs and some collections here.
So mine, I know I've mentioned this event before on the show in past taking, but this is my crushed beer can from the Sandman event that I got into the ring and chugged a beer, smashed on my head, and he even signed it here at the bottom. I don't know the lighting here on my screen.
That is really, no, you can see it. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it perfect. Hang on. Oh wait, I didn't full screen you. I'm so unprofessional.
Yeah, I was saying, like what the hell, man? Come on.
There you go. Show it off. There we go. Man, you talking about collectible? You talking about some? Yeah, man. I got action figures. You bringing out the memorabilia, bro?
I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. This one was a tough one to try to pick because I've also got an autographed RVD, Ruthless Aggression 3 series that I got him to sign at Alamo City Comic Con back in 2015. I've got an autographed Sergeant Slaughter Funko Pop, but I think this one is definitely my most favorite one, to be able to share a ring with the Sandman and drink a beer and smash it on my forehead. This was 2006, I believe, that this happened, and I got a permanent little mark on my forehead from doing that. But you know what? It was well worth it. So
that's pretty awesome. I have a bunch of I wish I would have thought about that, but I have a bunch of 8x10s that I have signed from time on the Indies. I have a bunch. I have like a binder full of them. I got Adam Cole, Cody. I got Young Bucks. I got a bunch of my more thing. It wasn't so much about the autographs. I like taking pictures with people. That was my thing for the longest time. Like I had a goal of taking pictures with every wrestler I came in contact with. That's kind of my collection. But yeah, that is awesome. The beer. I didn't expect you to actually still have that beer can. That's That's pretty.
Dude, I ain't getting rid of that, man.
You shouldn't.
And dude, my buddy Van, who was with me, and his younger brother and his psycho ex-girlfriend that he was dating at the time, we all went to that show and had a blast. That's the one that I was telling you about, that cheerleader Melissa and like I said, I want to say it was Candice LeRae, just went out, were just brawling out in the crowd, just whipping each other into the chairs, and that was
awesome.
an all-out brutal match. But yeah, that was that same event, and that's a memory that I will never forget, man. So definitely good times.
That's pretty awesome, man. I'm glad they had. Yeah, I bet that's awesome. You still got the beer can. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to have that, but yeah. So wrestling collectibles. What do y'all like? What is y'all favorites? There's a lot of stuff. I'm not so much of a wrestling collector as much as I was. I kind of sold all my stuff because I was obsessing, and I already obsess over one thing, as you guys can see, video games. That's more of my collection. But those Maximum Sweat figures up there and my AJ Styles, those are something I'm never going to get rid of. I love those. They're meant a lot to my childhood. So
Same with my beer can over here. So
but yeah, so collectibles, let us know what you guys like. What is your favorite wrestling collectible? Let us know in the comments below. All right, now we're going to go from wrestling collectibles over to some pretty stale news. Rest in peace to Sid Vicious. Sid Uday.
apparently it was a bout with cancer that he had been fighting for.
Brain cancer,
time.
I believe it was, that a lot of people didn't even know he had. So that's one thing. This guy I remember just watching Survivor Series 1996, I want to say. I remember my fondest memory because I had just really gotten into wrestling back then, and I remember there was this old video store in my town, and on the back wall they had nothing but WWE and wrestling tapes. And I remember the first thing, like, I went along the whole wall, and every week my mom would rent me a movie and a video game, and I would grab each one. I remember the first one was Survivor Series 1996, and it was Shawn Michaels versus Sid Vicious. And I remember seeing that guy. He looks like a creator wrestler. He had the most wrestler imposing, looked like he could be a Bond villain. Like, literally just this imposing man with the mullet perm. Don't call it a perm, but it was a mullet perm. And I just remember, like, man, he's the man, dude. And like, he really like intimidated me as a kid. And from what I hear, the guy, he was a special kind of guy, because like a lot of people, you know, like in the business, they tend to let wrestling kind of take over their life, but apparently not this man. He could have been a lot bigger than what he was, but he was content with his family. He was content living in that little small town in Tennessee or Arkansas, driving his old 20-year-old car as long as it started. Like, he was a simple man that lived a simple life that just happened to love wrestling and perform really good and had the look.
I mean, Mick Foley was the same way. I mean, you know, he was, you know, very frugal with spending any of the hard-earned money that he sacrificed his body for, you know. So, but yeah, he drove the same beat-up car for years, and, you know, very basic living house. You know, I'm sure, you know, it was like a 2-story.
He stayed in the same town, the same little small town out in Arkansas. He didn't do like a lot of move to Miami and Los Angeles. No, he stayed in the same town that he grew up in, and he was a simple man with a simple life. And I hear Booker T talking about him, like, he helped out the Harlem Heat big time. Let him stay at their house while they're on their way up. Let him stay at their house for a good while, free of charge. Apparently the guy was a sweetheart, and
so
very good to
question
people.
Is, do you think he's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Because
I couldn't believe he wasn't. That's crazy to me.
We'll know and see what the deal is, because he even said now that you know who is no longer in the company, no longer associated with the company. He was hoping that maybe finally he would get the induction that he wanted, but yeah, I mean, this shocked the world. And I don't know if you watched Monday Night Raw last week, but Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley did a
Yeah.
little honor to him by saying, you know, we are the rulers of this ring or masters of this
And
ring, whatever.
then Xavier Woods came out doing the fist bumps to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his little slight ode to Sid Vicious also. You know, I had just like, you heard stories back in the day that he wasn't really, you know, reliable. Like he said he would have to go, he couldn't make the date because he had to play softball. But what a lot of people say is because he didn't allow wrestling, his family and times with his family was most important to him. That wrestling always took a back seat.
Same with Owen Hart. Owen Hart loved the time when he would be able to go home and spend time with his kids and do more with the family whenever, you know, they had big events going on. So I give a lot of respect and props to those wrestlers who put family over career any day, you know.
Yeah, and I think that he took a lot of flack for that, and that's probably why you know, Mr. McMahon, he who shall not be named, probably took issue with him.
Didn't take it too kindly that he wasn't giving his 150% to wrestling and then keeping his family at a, you know, close like third in line, you know. So,
but I do say that he's probably going to get inducted because Triple H did release a statement on X, formerly Twitter, saying, you know, he actually talked good about him, said he looked up to him and stuff like that. So he's most likely going to be inducted next year, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, just stale news, man. Sid, you know, I remember just watching that guy and just being afraid of him when I was a little kid, but I just, who's the man? Coming out to the serial killer music and stuff. He was just like, if you had a video game and, you know, the creator wrestler, like that would be something you create. He had the look of just an imposing figure. Dude was like 6'9" or whatever, 6'8".
7'7".
No way he was 7'7".
No,
I'm about to say, that's
no.
bigger than the Great Khali.
6'9" is what he is. 6'9".
Oh yeah, at about what, 300 pounds? Like the dude was just a force, bro.
Well, he was tall, so a majority of it was all muscle. Like,
yeah, the dude, he just had it. You know what I'm saying? They said when he was in his tryout, like they were just right after they looked over and just said, okay, he's in. Like, so yeah, rest in peace. Hope he gets inducted. You know, prayers go out to your family. And yeah, so rest in peace, Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid Edie. Now, let's move on to, you want to go to Berlin, Bash in Berlin?
Yeah, let's do a small little recap on Bash in Berlin.
We're not going to spend too much time on this. So the main takeaways is we have one title change. We had Isla Dawn
and Jade
take it over from Isla Dawn, and
Isla Dawn and Alba Fire lost the titles to Bianca and Jade, which was kind of obvious was going to happen.
Yeah.
Although I'm still on the notion that Jade's still a little too green to be a title holder.
What's her name? Bianca. Once again, you can tell she did a lot of the heavy lifting in the match. She did most of the work, but the times that she did get in, she did look good and imposing. But still, man, there's a reason why she's in the tag team. We've been over this. You know, I can't see her doing a good 30-minute match. You know.
So at the media scrum after the pay-per-view, apparently a reporter asked her, you know, about her time in AEW, and she's like, I'm tired of answering these questions about AEW. She's like, I'm proud to be from there, but I'm here now. I want to focus on the future, what lies ahead of me. So that's pretty much all I really have to say about that.
It's respectable.
Understandable, but I mean, I get where she's coming from, but also at the same time, it's going to be expected. You know, you were only in AEW for just a few short years while you were breaking into the wrestling business, and now you're here. You know, like a lot of these wrestlers that come to WWE have 10+ years of independent or other promotion
Yeah,
experience.
that's all we really know her from is her time in AEW. Like
Exactly. So yeah, so they're gonna want to try to find out more about her they can in regards to her time in AEW, but like I said, I get it and I don't blame her for having the reaction, but also at the same time, it's gonna happen regardless.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Moving on. Let's see, we had a good hard hitting match between Randy Orton and Gunther. And yeah, that was a damn good meat slapping, hard hitting match. I was glued to the TV the whole time. I knew Gunther was going to take the W, but the best thing was, like you said, he gave Randy Orton his roses as he should. Randy Orton is now a veteran of the business, and he's earned it. He's been there since, I don't know, since he was like what, 20?
2002.
I think he was 20 years old.
2021, yeah. He was the youngest world heavyweight champion when he dethroned, I believe it was Chris Benoit.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Great match. What else we had here? Oh, we had the strap match with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Did you find it funny that McIntyre was tapping out to the sharpshooter, going for a rope break and all this other stuff?
Yeah, that was. Did you see that the strap came off during the match?
I didn't see that. I was watching,
and they were still trying to act like they were strapped together, and the strap was on the ground. They were still acting like they were struggling getting to it, and the strap was on the ground, so they had to hurry up and like put it back on CM Punk. It fell. I guess it was loose or something, but it was still pretty good match, serviceable. CM Punk got the W, as we all kind of figured. This time he got his W since he's gotten to the back to the WWE. Do you think it's over between these two?
Not by a long shot.
Nah, I don't think so either. We'll have to see, but no. Let's see what else we had.
They're at one apiece, so you're gonna have to have
your rubber match. Yep, yeah,
exactly. And a lot of people are hoping that it's gonna be a Hell in a Cell match, but of course CM Punk's like, get the hell out of here with that fantasy book and bullshit. So
screw him. But let's see what else we got. What other match was interesting?
Yeah, that mixed tag with the
Judgment Day
and Rhea Ripley versus Liv and Dirty Dom, and of course
they pulled out.
Liv was humiliated with that pinfall that Rhea hit her with. The whole
legs, me and my wife were like kind of like, ooh, damn, that looked like something right off the hub. I'm being honest with you.
and that's why a lot of people are saying that it was humiliating for her, is because the face that Rhea gives when she does that pin, and the fact that it's Liv Morgan, and
it looked right off the hub.
Short. So
the Judgment Day pulled out all the stops, tried to steal the W, but no, ultimately it was Priest and
Rhea Ripley. A lot of people were happy at the fact that Rhea got a little bit of retribution on Dirty Dom with their little figure four leg lock in the top corner, kind of that little figure four chokehold that she had on.
It was like a head scissors kind of that she had him in. But I was just saying this. I was like, I don't want to like. If in a real life situation, like if they would have met on the streets, who you think would really win that fight? I mean, look at both the teams. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Rhea and Damian definitely would have won that fight.
Yeah, I mean, they look totally just dwarfing both of them, and just
they're the Doomsday Twins is what they're referred to.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking, I was like, look, like these people just look so outmatched by these two. I was like, this, like if they would meet on like in a real life situation, like on the streets, like I would not like old Dirty Dom's chances against Priest and yeah, like that's just my observation. But other than that. Okay, go ahead.
And then don't forget, we had our opening contest of Rhodes versus Owens.
I was trying to remember that one. That's the one I was forgetting. I need to get some alpha brain.
That was the one that opened up the pay-per-view, and of course, it was already expected that Rhodes was going to take the win. So it's a possibility that we could see even more tension between Owens and Rhodes in this match. Could it be, could we see another heel turn from Kevin Owens down the road, So
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He's probably going to flip on him. We'll see. I know this is not their last time they're going to be meeting in that ring, but we'll just have to see. I mean, altogether, it was not really much on the line with this show other than the tag titles. It was just a spectacle.
It was a 3-hour pay-per-view. I mean,
it was just a spectacle to put on for the fans in Berlin, and it delivered some good action. Nothing really substantial as far as storyline standpoints, but it was a fun event. I'll say that. So, but yeah, that was Bash in Berlin. Let's go ahead and move on to now. I don't know much about this story, but I don't. Where is Ric Flair?
Yeah, so obviously we know AEW and Ric Flair had a deal going on. Obviously, Ric Flair signed to AEW in promotion of his Woo energy drink, and I mean, he was supposed to be a big part of Sting's final run in AEW. Flair made very, very minimal appearances. According to him, he wanted to get involved in the last match of Sting and Darby Allin against the Bucks, and obviously that would have been a horrible idea. But it seems like, honestly, ever since that little drunken debacle that Flair had at a bar and grill or whatever, he's been persona non grata in AEW. It's just kind of like, where has he fallen off to? Like, he's just kind of floating out in the abyss in deep space somewhere. So it was just something that I've just been kind of wondering about, like, where is he? Like, he's supposedly signed to like a 3 or 4 year deal with AEW and supposed to promote his Woo energy drink, and it, like I said, it seems like ever since that drunken debacle he had in that restaurant, he's been ghost, So
last time I saw him was on Kill Tony. I didn't really see much after that. Made a fool of himself on there.
He was drunk on that show, and made a fool of himself, and had a line like, "Oh, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of people giving up their time to come out here and do this." Like, well, obviously
that's the whole point of the show.
Like,
and maybe Tony Hinchcliffe should have smartened him up to it. Yeah, he didn't. He says he really didn't. I mean, I don't know, but he kept wanting it to be like a ask me question type thing, like they do the interviews at wrestling autograph signing shows where they'll do a panel. He kind of wanted it to be like that the whole time, started telling stories, and it just wasn't that. He didn't really know what he was there for, but still it looked bad. The optics of it looked terrible. And then he got up and left, and there's only one other person, Darnell Rollins or whatever, that got up and
Darnell Rollins that
walked off the show.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see that episode because we didn't come into it until a couple years ago. So something like that, about a couple years ago or last year, something like that, is when we started tuning into it. So anybody watching, man, if you have any ideas on where Ric Flair might be, sound off in the comments below.
All right, next up, we got yet another new title, the Female Women's Championship Tournament on WWE Speed. Okay, so
WWE is adding another title to their roster. Why is everybody so up in arms about AEW when they add a title to their roster, but yet nobody says shit?
I think it's too much for both of them. It's too much, man. Like, when are they going to have, like I said in the past, when they have championship at the porta potty? Like, have wrestling matches at the porta potty. Like, man, like, it's just, it's hard to keep up with. Like, really, all I think they need is a female championship, mid-card championship like the Intercontinental, a main championship, and maybe like a women's tag team championship. That's all you really need in my book. Maybe if they're going to do a brand split, maybe a champion on each. Maybe, those 4 titles on each show. But that's all they really need, in my opinion. But yeah, it's just so many titles. I'm always hearing about a new one. But yeah, I mean, people, yeah, people complain about, AEW doing it, but WWE is also following suit. They're having so many different championships. Is there still a cruiserweight title, or is that
I don't believe so.
Maybe a cruiserweight
No.
title, but maybe not one for each show. That would be cool to have. But yeah, so many titles.
So I wanted to go through and actually make a comparison to each belt or the belts
Get
that
some
each
homework.
company has. So I'm going to read some off, and if you could think of any, I'll write them down. So for WWE main roster titles, we have the World Heavyweight Championship. We've got the Universal Championship. We have the Raw Tag Team titles. We have the Raw Women's Tag Team titles. We have SmackDown Men's titles. SmackDown Women titles. We have the U.S. Championship. We have Intercontinental, right? And now we have, let's see, we have WWE Speed.
Men's title.
And then we are going to be adding WWE Speed Women's. What else? Women's US and women's.
There's a women's US? I didn't even realize that.
No. Those are going to be upcoming.
Oh.
So we'll be adding women's US and women's IC as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 just in the first set. And then coming up, we have women's Speed, women's US, and women's IC. So that's 12 titles WWE will have for their main rosters. I guess you couldn't really count Speed. Well, would you count Speed as being a main roster, or would you?
They still use main roster wrestlers, so I would suggest, yeah. I wouldn't count maybe like NXT though. And I don't think you did, but so just like I wouldn't count ROH with the AEW titles, I would think.
Okay, so for AEW, we have their world title, we have their tag titles, trios, TBS championship, women's championship, the international title, and the what is it? The
FTW
Continental Classic. You can't really count the FTW because that again isn't a officially recognized title, but I could go ahead and put it down.
It's
because it is defended and there are FTW rules that the title is competed by. We have world title, tag, trios, TBS, women's, the international, the continental, and the FTW. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I mean, but it's I'm not taking up for WWE, but it's a little more understood because I mean they have so much brand splitting. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they could have titles on both. And I mean, AEW's not. I mean, they have 3 shows, but it's not as split up as much. So, I mean, I don't know. Both shows still have a lot of titles, in my opinion.
Yeah, but no, what I'm just pointing out is you can't say that, oh my God, AEW is adding more titles when WWE under their belt for both SmackDown and Raw has more. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I think it's a lot on both, man. That's so many. I remember when I was a kid, it was the Intercontinental, Tag Team, Women's, and the Heavyweight Championship.
Can't forget about the European title.
And for a little while there, they had the Hardcore. And I think that's about it.
Yeah, because there's no Cruiserweight and there's no 24/7 championship around either.
Yeah.
Anymore.
So, I don't know. It's a
So,
lot of titles, bro. I mean, it gives. I mean, it kind of. I guess it kind of helps because it gives like the mid card and stuff like that something to really go after and gives it some, I don't know, some appeal. But it's a lot. That is a lot.
mhm.
But then
I
again, you
think,
have so much wrestling on TV, so that's another reason.
yeah, no, I think AEW shouldn't have introduced the trios title. I think they should have brought in women's tag team
Yeah, I think that would have
titles.
been a good idea. The trios title, that's one of them I don't think that needs to be around. Neither, I'm gonna be honest, the FTW, I know it's not official, but I think that one is. The WWE, I wish. I know they have a World Heavyweight Championship now, but at least change the name. I hate the Universal Championship. I hate that name, dude. Oh my god, that's McMahon bullshit names right there. Is what that is. His horrible name, and that's on the level of the freaking Viking Experience. Like, God, that dude had horrible names. Get rid of that. Change it. Call it. I don't care if it's the other heavyweight championship or something. Like,
I mean,
or just the
speaking on
WWE championship.
on your whole name thing, it just goes into perspective of how he was having certain wrestlers drop first or last name. So Matt Riddle was changed to Riddle. Austin Theory was just changed to Theory.
That's so stupid sounding. That's stay gone, asshole.
Pete Dunne's name was changed
Butch.
to Butch. Piper Niven was changed to Dewdrop. Horrible naming and booking decisions by the Paul Levesque predecessor era.
So, but yeah, a lot of titles. But hey, pot can't call the kettle black. So,
Yeah. So what about our viewers? What do you think? Do you think that AEW should get rid of the trios and introduce women's tag, or do you think the amount of respective titles per brand is okay? Or
discussion question for next time.
Okay.
Favorite championship and belt design. Would be a good topic.
I like that idea. That's a good one. Good job.
Of all time.
You're finally adding a little bit more to the show.
I add stuff to the show. I just leave it up to you because you take the good stuff. All right, man. So you're the brains of the operation. I'm just the hype. Okay, get it right. But
you gotta actually put more hype into it if you're gonna be declared the hype. So
hype. There you go. Is that better? But so moving on.
Speaking of that, let's do a little AEW All In Fallout, shall we? We had some title changes there on that front end.
Yeah, well, I watched this one. So first of all, that Will Ospreay versus MJF.
We saw returning Daniel Garcia.
Garcia came back, clocked old MJF over the head, and
with those brass knuckles that MJF had wrapped up.
That was really good. So some shenanigans, but ultimately our boy Will Ospreay got the W and got the championship.
Bro, how's it go? How's it like this?
I believe so. I've never done it. I've never done my hands like that before. I wouldn't even notice. I mean, I'm just used to the too much metal. But
yes, Will Ospreay has regained the AEW International Championship, and what's funny is he refused to accept the American Championship.
I hated that ending to the Battle Royal.
Oh, I thought that was awesome.
I hated it.
At the same time, you knew it was going to happen with the fact Luchasaurus isn't going to be turning on Christian Cage anytime soon, but it is going to happen. I think it's going to happen when Christian Cage challenges our winner of the World Heavyweight of AEW's World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's where we're going to see the double cross from Kill Switch onto Christian Cage.
Take the mask off. Drop that name. Drop Luchasaurus. He's not a bad looking guy. Like, he was Judas Devilet, or whatever in NXT. He's not a bat. Take that mask off. No more kill switch. No more Luchasaurus. Go do the Jack Perry thing. Let's, you know what I'm saying? I want to see that guy like as a serious, you know what I'm saying, force. Because the motherfucker's good, bro. Luchasaurus can flat go, and I want to see him. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite part of that battle royal is definitely Nigel McGuinness coming out. That was great.
Oh, yes, that was
he
awesome.
Still looked good, bro. Like he was 20 years old again. He didn't miss a beat, son. He should still be in that ring.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I think the reason why he wanted to get in that ring is because he wants to end Bryan Danielson's career. Because obviously, you know, the animosity, you know, is it a work or is it a shoot? You know, the animosity that Nigel McGuinness has against Bryan Danielson. So he was hoping to be able to win that gauntlet match to be able to challenge the World Heavyweight Champion winner and win that title away from him. So,
I mean, yeah, the dude looked great. Hang on, I'm looking up something for a future topic that we have.
We got a returning Zack Sabre Jr.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, he came back. He was in there in the Battle Royal. That was another good surprise. They had some good surprises.
And we had a debuting Ricochet.
Ricochet. How could I forget? That was the biggest one. That was awesome.
And a lot of people are giving him crap because he didn't win the match. Like, are you serious? Like, come on now. The only reason why he would have won the match is if Tony Khan wanted to put him in right automatically out the gate into a championship contender match. If he was, you know. So, of course, he's not going to win the match, but he is going to have a great showing, and he did for the most part. What else? Oh, yes, we had a a surprise, I guess you could say, return by the Grizzled Young Vets at the end of the FTR Acclaimed and Bucks tag team title match.
Yeah, the Bucks look good. I'm trying to remember what happened during that match. Oh, wait. There's one thing I want to call out. Oh boy, the little guy in the tag team match with Christian Cage or Killswitch. That tope into a Canadian destroyer.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I popped for that. That was sick, dude. That was like my highlight of the whole show. I've never seen that before. A tope into a Canadian destroyer. That was insane.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of good spots in these matches. But yeah, as you discussed, MJF lost to Will Ospreay via a returning Daniel Garcia. What do you think? Oh yeah, Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. Britt Baker pulling out a good old classic Eddie Guerrero tactic of acting like she got hit with the chair by Camille to get Camille kicked out of the match.
That was pretty cool. I didn't pay as much attention to that one. I was like cooking at the same time during that one.
I'm sure you were. Well, you never really paid attention to the women's match.
I do. Oh, bro, you hater, bro.
I know a lot of people were critiquing Britt Baker on her performance in that match, and it's kind of like she was out for almost a year due to, you know, pretty much a mini stroke plus back issues. You know.
Ooh, she had a mini stroke. I didn't even realize that. That was. I thought it was just the back issues.
Nuh-uh. It was when she gave her promo after she returned from Double or Nothing, I believe is where she returned at.
Bro, that's crazy. That young having a stroke. That's insane. Oof.
Yeah. But it, you know, like I said, it's the fact that, you know, she came back from having her mini stroke plus her back issues. I mean, yeah, it's almost kind of obvious that Mercedes is gonna carried most of that match and
Yeah.
helped her out.
That's
And
understandable.
a lot of people noticed it when Britt Baker tried to hit a Canadian Destroyer as well too. You know, I think that's where the obviousness came back in, that Britt's still trying to get back into proper ring shape. I mean, she's only had one match back since returning from medical absence. So, but I think it's not going to be a matter of time at all before Britt's back to put it on top star matches. So
It's good. Yeah, stroke, man. That's serious, man. I'm surprised that she's that young and she's healthy looking and stuff. So I don't know.
yeah. And
Um,
unfortunately, Darby Allin has suffered his first loss in a coffin match.
yeah, I was still cooking at that one. I came back for the last match though.
I think the highlights of that match were the Crimea River chants that were going on, as well as "fuck CM Punk" chants that were going on.
I heard that, like, because I still had it on in the living room while I was in the kitchen. I wasn't sure that's what they were saying, but I heard CM Punk, but they were actually saying "fuck CM Punk." Okay, I was hearing that.
Jack Perry looked into the camera and went like that, and you just hear the crowd just yelling Crimea River and "fuck CM Punk" chants.
That's awesome. I'm always here for that. I'm always here for that. I don't like Phil.
And then we had a surprise appearance from It's Sting.
I like how your light just lit up when you did that. It got bright for a second. Yeah. I was listening to that one while I was cooking. It sounded awesome. As soon as
Sting came out to have Darby's back at the end of that match, from being lit on fire by Jack Perry and the Bucks, which was awesome to see. And then, of course, we have our main event match of Swerve Strickland, whose house?
Match of the year?
Versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Match of the year candidate?
That one is definitely going to be a top contender, and this is one nobody was sure how it was going to go, because earlier, prior to that match, they showed footage of Swerve signing his brand new AEW contract.
Yeah, that was big money. That's
So a lot of people were in the uncertainty: is Bryan gonna win? Is Swerve gonna win?
That's a topic I wanted to cover that I forgot to add. Swerve's contract. Can we go into that just a little bit? So yeah, WWE is okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So WWE is saying that contract was bad for the business, and I'm like, how? It's good for him. He's making the money. Well, it turns out WWE showed interest and sent out a feeler when they heard that they wanted him.
WWE was caught contract tampering,
not just with Swerve, but they wanted Prince Nana with him. They sent out feelers to both of them, and then they said and then Tony Khan opened up the pocketbook. From what I hear, it's one.
He's supposed to be one of the highest ones.
Yeah, like from what I heard, it's in the millions, but like multiple millions of dollars. So we're looking at six figures, but like multiple six figures. So I've heard from like 5, 6, 7, 8 million. Like
I was gonna say, are we talking single digit millions or double digit millions?
I'm thinking double. Like they said, it was probably one of the biggest contracts that they've ever signed to keep Swerve, and I think I don't see how that's bad for the business. Wrestlers deserve to get paid because they put their body on the line to entertain us, so they should make the big bucks. I just think it's sour grapes from the WWE because I know old Paul is looking at
WWE was wanting to scoop up Swerve and Prince Nana, and they got caught, and so Tony's like, all right, I want you to stay here, so this is what I'm offering.
And yeah, and then Swerve actually said, he actually had a statement. This is kind of related to it. They were like, why do you never made it to the top in WWE? And we
all know why.
The only thing he said was politics. That's the only thing he said. Politics. That's all he said. I wouldn't say that. There's plenty of champions out there.
It was.
Think so? I don't know.
Guarantee it.
I have no clue.
Guarantee it because it's not the first time.
Yeah, I know, but I would say it's more so with like the McMahon era than anything.
Well, that's what I'm.
Well, yeah, that was around that time, so yeah, maybe so. I can believe that, and I have seen, proof of that also, but it seems to have gotten better. But that was his only word that he said, politics, and they wanted him and Nana, so they moved in and they scooped him back up, and I think he's signed until 2029 or 2030, I think. 2029 2030.
I think it was a 5-year.
Yeah, so he ain't going nowhere. I'm kind of glad. He is the star that they need.
Randy Orton signed a 5-year contract as well too. So
do you think that's going to be? That may be one of his last contract signings too. That dude, he's getting up there
I think
too.
So. I think it will be.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, that's good for Swerve, man. He got them dollars, bro. He got them dollars. He got that little music career going. He got that, man. The dude's winning, bro. He's so much ahead of what he was in WWE now. So.
Yeah, so yes, as stated prior to our little divergent tangent we had, Danielson was victorious in capturing the world title.
I don't think Strickland gives a shit.
No,
not with that chick.
I thought it was awesome at the fact how Brian was essentially hulking up while staring at Bree and his 2 kids and saying, I'm sorry, I love you, and then just went to town.
I saw that. That was good drama.
And just beat Swerve right then and there.
Because everybody's like, take it easy, your neck.
But that was an awesome match. And yes, obviously, of course, Wheeler Yuta, Pac, and Claudio. Oh yeah, speaking of which, we do have new trios tag team champions in Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which I think kind of seals the deal that Penta and Rey Fenix aren't staying around in AEW, because originally I believe that was the plan, was for Death Triangle to be in that match, because they were, I believe, advertised for the initial promo for All In, and then they were taken off.
I think the Blackpool Combat Club, I think that name needs to be gone now, because I mean Regal ain't even there anymore.
Well, we're gonna get into that when we do our little
I think that needs
Dynamite recap here
disperse.
In a second. But yes, what I want to talk about now is the promo that Saraya gave at the media scrum. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
We also had a returning Jamie Hayter who interrupted.
I knew that
Saraya
was coming.
And her family when they made their little presence out into the ring, and at the media scrum, she's like, "Fuck you! Don't ask me shit, Jamie Hayter. You return. You're gonna come in and screw up my big moment." He's like, "I know what you guys write about me in the press. Don't you report a fucking thing?" And just going off on the media at the scrum, as well as Jamie Hayter. She gave an awesome promo, and what's funny about this is people are curious as to what's going to happen with her, because as of right now, she hasn't signed a new AEW contract. So people are trying to figure out if is she going to re-sign and go into this badass feud with Jamie Hayter, or is this all a work and she's going to end up leaving because
or is Jamie Hayter going to be the one to put her on her back on her exit?
That's a possibility as well too, but it's going to be something to see. But Bryan Danielson, during his appearance at the media scrum, put into question whether or not he was going to retire with the belt, because he says, like, I've done this for all my life. He's like, but now it's time for me to go and be a dad. So a lot of people are questioning, is he going to retire with this belt? And are we going to have to go through a tournament to crown a new AEW champion? So that was the question going into Wednesday night's Dynamite.
Yep. So let's switch over now to Dynamite. So give you a recap. I saw the John Moxley stuff that he came out. Everybody was wondering what's been going on with him.
And gave a fire promo. This was his return from AEW since
with the Kim
the
Possible
Forbidden
outfit.
Door for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view was the last time he was seen. He came out and gave a very eerie warning, and his last comment that he gave to Tony Schiavone was, and you're not in charge anymore. So a lot of people are kind of wondering, is this when they're going to bring in Shane McMahon? Is Shane McMahon going to be an authority figure in AEW?
I didn't even put that together. That would be pretty cool. A lot of people were pretty sure he was going to debut and all. Even a lot of the wrestlers were saying they were pretty sure he was going to debut at All In, but it didn't happen. So, because there were wrestlers on the roster saying they were pretty sure he was going to be there, and didn't happen. So I guess I don't know. I think it's all but confirmed at this point. Maybe they got to be doing something.
I mean, all we know right now is that Tony and Shane had a little meeting at a private room at the airport there in Dallas. So that's all we really know, just via that photo leak.
But when you got roster members saying that they're pretty sure he's going to be there, whispering to each other, that pretty much it's a strong possibility. Not 100%, but I'd give it maybe a good 70. You know what I'm saying?
It's like we say, we just got to wait and see what happens.
What else happened on AEW Dynamite?
Again, we had a return. So Jamie Hayter returned to in-ring action to take on Harley Cameron. This is going to be an interesting setup if we get one between Saraya and Harley, because it was Saraya that pushed Harley into Jamie Hayter after the match.
That's interesting.
The beat down. So, and then of course you got your backstage promo where Saraya is comforting and consoling a crying Harley Cameron, and then again Saraya just cuts a vicious promo on Jamie Hayter. So that's going to be something interesting to see if we're going to get some sort of program. Like you said, could this be the exit that Saraya gets if she doesn't resign? So that's definitely going to be something to look out. There's something else. Swerve and Hangman just had a promo, and Swerve may have just outed that Hangman is having a second child.
Congratulations.
Yeah, if that's true, then yes, definitely. And then the end of Dynamite was something to. Bryan Danielson's promo was saying he's not retiring anytime soon. He's going to defend that title up until he loses it. So Bryan Danielson is not retiring anytime soon this year. So that's going to kind of call into question when is he going to have this possible neck surgery before the end of 2024.
Some people were even saying it might be a work. I don't know. Just to kind of build tension for the pay-per-view. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I don't know why they would be, but I can't see Christian Cage winning the world title just yet. Well, we'll have to see. I hope not. I hope not.
One more thing on the Dynamite recap was the very end of Dynamite when we saw Moxley talk about starting lessons in humility. And then all of a sudden you see him attacking the backstage security, and apparently we're going to now start to see a joint venture of Moxley and Marina Shafir.
Yeah, I was reading up on that, on Marina Shafir. And guess where she was from? WWE.
Was she? I didn't know that.
She was in WWE for a bit. I think she was a trainer at NXT for a bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She was in the Mae Young Classic also, and she was also a trainer at the Performance Center. Then they let her go, and then that's when she went to AEW. And sticking with AEW in other news, people been wondering about Ricky Starks, where he's been, what's he got going on. They say he hasn't really been up the card lately, but he actually said a comment on X answering a.
It was a quote tweet, wasn't it? That he replied back to?
Yeah, it said it was a guy named Captain Grape Drink shared this quote saying, literally anyone who is going to be pushed as a top champion needs to prove that they can handle smaller things first. The fact that his attitude when given a smaller opportunities was to pout and disagree with creative is a main reason why he didn't get bigger shots. And Ricky Starks fired back at this, saying, "Enough is enough. Usually I do not even speak on this, but it's tired. I never turn down anything, ever. Just stop." And it is no joke. People are whispering and saying that he is not happy with creative in AEW, that he's pretty much all but done, and he may be going WWE bound, but the problem is that there is word getting around, and I'm not sure how true it is, but there's rumor going around that he's very hard to work with, and will that affect him getting a shot in another company, or I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, he has done dark match work with WWE, so they do know him.
He's been to a tryout. He's had a couple tryouts.
He's like one of Cody Rhodes' best friends. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not he sticks with AEW, if they bring him back into a program, or if he does end up just waiting for his contract to expire to jump ship.
I always love Ricky Starks because he's a fellow Austin native, and he's from my hometown in Louisiana, so I've always been a fan of him, and I hope something turns up for him. I hope he gets some good TV time on AEW or goes to WWE and maybe get some spotlight on him in NXT. Whatever he chooses, whatever happens, I just hope he gets some, all the best for Ricky Starks. I've met the guy on numerous occasions. Oh, but I mean, I'm a fan, but he's always seemed to be a pretty cool person to me. I love sitting around, like every time we would talk Cajun food after during his little, while he's sitting at his merch booth. Me and him talk about gumbo and jambalaya and stuff like that. So I always like the guy, and well, I just hope the best for him, man. Now, let's move on. Where do you want to go next, big guy? Let's see. We got let's see. Oh, there was a little bit of worry about the WWE Performance Center moving on to Las Vegas, which could be understandable because that is where the UFC's Performance Center is. So, but I know since this broke, there has been rumor killers. They're saying that it's not going nowhere. It's staying in Florida. So
yeah. So per Fightful Select, when they reached out to somebody within WWE, their sources, there was speculation that the Performance Center will be moving to Las Vegas, which is gonna kind of suck if that is true, because
so many wrestlers live in Florida.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like Florida's like the epicenter now of wrestlers, pretty much.
Yeah. So a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy because now they're going to have to just uproot their whole entire lives, their family's lives, stuff like that, and move, roughly about 2,000 miles to the west.
And what you got to remember is these NXT wrestlers are not making from what I hear, not in most cases, they're not making the main roster money. So it's not an easy thing, Yeah,
but, so more than likely, I could see them joining the UFC Performance Center, the Apex Center. They have or they may even expand the building to include WWE Performance Center. If
that would be a bad idea in itself, because you have all those egos from wrestlers and UFC stars. There would definitely be there'd definitely be some weird situations going on in there, but the way I view it, leave well enough alone. It's good in Florida. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, TKO's trying to conserve money as much as possible, so it would kind of be, if they want to do that, then it would be stupid for them to uproot the Performance Center out of Florida to move it over to Vegas.
And that is a state-of-the-art Performance Center from what I hear, so it's really nice. I would hate to break down all that, and,
So when you say state of the art, are we talking like the lab that Ivan Drago was created in from Rocky IV, or?
Oh, bro, they have a booth just for promos. Like, they have a promo booth that you can record yourself and all that stuff. It's state of the art. They have all the best exercise equipment. It's immaculate from what I've heard and from what I've seen in documentaries.
Yeah, well, when your owner of UFC isn't paying their fighters respectively what they deserve, then yeah, you have more money to put more into
I'm talking about the
your own
WWE
shit.
Performance Center. I wasn't talking about that. I've never seen the inside of the UFC Performance Center.
Oh, well, same thing. So
I've only seen like little videos of like people training in the cages over there, but they've showed all up in the WWE Performance Center, like in documentaries and stuff. They did walkthroughs of it, and that place is
yeah,
nice.
well, I don't change my statement.
I mean, you're all right. They only pay like 20% to the fighters, but it does suck.
Yeah, so
But I'm a Dana White fan, so I gotta say I'm a Dana White fan. That's one thing I do disagree with him, that he does need to break open that pocketbook more instead of gambling and pay the fighters.
well, no,
but
he needs to make the profit sharing of the split of merchandise sales and stuff like that and pay-per-view buys. He needs to make that percentage higher for the athletes that he employed.
And they need to bring back third-party sponsors for the fighters, like where they like Brock Lesnar used to wear the Jimmy John's trunks and stuff.
With Jack Links and everything like that on them.
And I remember Cowboy Cerrone had a Hunt Brothers pizza endorsement. Hunt Brothers, the gas station pizza. They need to bring that back too, because I know that would supplement a lot. A lot needs to happen for the fighters to get that more, get them dollar bills. But that's besides the point. The way I feel about this, they need to leave it in Florida. They got a good thing going down there. So many wrestlers live down there in that area, right there in Orlando, and I think that they need to keep those separate.
Yeah.
Two total sides of the world.
So the plus side to moving the performance center to Vegas is the people in Florida don't have to worry about hurricanes and flash floods and everything like that, like you do out in Vegas.
Yeah, that is the truth. That is the truth.
Well,
that's the only reason why I don't live in Florida.
The flash flood part may still be an issue, but you're not going to have your hurricanes coming in and decimating half of Florida. And I mean, hell, you have insurance companies who are pulling out of Florida because of the catastrophic hurricanes that come through and wipe out houses. So
yeah, that's because actually before I moved back to Texas, I kind of entertained the idea of going to Florida. But then I was like, I've had my fair share of hurricanes throughout my life. I don't want any more.
I mean, in Vegas, all they're going to have to really contend with is the possible flash flood from the range, yes, and the massive triple-digit heat wave, like 11, happen, 15 months out of the year, So,
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Vegas personally. I've been there a couple times, but I got to say it got to be better than Florida as far as the weather standpoint. But I mean, and I love Florida's a beautiful place. I love going to Florida. Would I live there? Probably not. Like I said, I've had my fair share of hurricanes, so I'm good. I'm gonna keep my ass right here in the Lone Star. But
yeah. So earlier we were talking about Randy Orton. I've heard some rumors that there may be some possible beef between Orton and one Mr. Machine Gun Kelly.
Work.
You think so?
Work. Kayfabe.
So apparently at the SummerSlam event,
that dude did not look at Orton and tell him "fuck you." He did not.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is backstage rumor is that MGK happened to walk up to Randy Orton and say, "You know what? Fuck you." And MGK apparently is now telling a different story, saying, "You know what? Nah." He's like, "I walked up to him. I said what I had to say. He just kind of sat there and nodded." And apparently he even made a post on Twitter. I'm not going to call that shit X because that shit's always going to be Twitter. Saying, "You know what? You have my number. You know why. I'm not going to say why."
Brett, like, he didn't have that energy with Sean Strickland when Sean Strickland got in his face and was making fun of him. He didn't have that energy. He didn't have that energy when Conor McGregor was in his face. He is not going to tell Randy Orton a mountain of that. Randy Orton's bigger than you think. Like, in real life, that's a big ass dude, bro. Like, he's bigger than you think. It does not do him justice on TV. That dude's huge.
I went to a live event or
you could probably contest.
Yeah, no, I went to a house show and
big dude.
he's pretty ripped. Now, obviously, of course, I haven't
He's
seen him up
tall
close
too.
since.
I've seen him up close, like standing
Yeah,
by the
he's
barricade. He's tall and big, dude.
yeah, of course. This was
That
like
little
early.
twig that little twig that dresses all weird did not tell that man F you.
Yeah, and what was it? Sean Strickland's like, he's like, you're just someone who drinks blood and writes crappy emo music or something like that. Was
Yeah,
it something like
he
that?
just said he was
That
like,
he
just
said?
you're weird looking. He just told him, like, you're
Yeah,
weird looking, like you
yeah,
do
you're
weird
just a
shit.
weird looking dude. Yeah, he's like, he's just a weird looking dude who drinks blood and makes emo rap music. Like
Yeah,
no.
that dude is not as hard. Like even with Adam 22, another fuck boy in my book. All he did was walk up to him so fast because they had a little beef and just slapped his microphone. Like, didn't even knock it out of his hand, just did, and just walked away fast as hell before Adam could even realize what was going on. Like, dude, you are not gonna look at that big ass 250-pound wrestler Randy Orton and tell him fuck you. And he didn't say nothing that happened after that. He didn't even mention what happened after that. Like,
Yeah,
Randy looked back at me and
no.
said, fuck you. He just said, I looked at him, fuck. Well, what happened after that?
Yeah, there's got to be more to that than meets the eye. But I mean, with MGK, it's no surprise that he tries to start stuff that he can't finish, because when he did his tour with Tech Nine back in 2012, the L's Up tour or something like that, can't remember what the name of the tour was. There was tension and animosity between MGK's crew and the Strange Music crew, and so it's no surprising that MGK and him and his crew have issues with other people. So this will be definitely something interesting to see if this is actual real thing, because this isn't the first time Randy Orton has had issues with a celebrity.
Soldier Boy.
Beef? Yep, exactly.
Soldier Boy.
Yeah,
that freaking
Soulja
fraud
Boy was coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, I could whip your ass," and Orton's like, "Bring it on!" Like, you're talking all that. He's pretty much saying, if you're feeling froggy, leap. So
that little ass dude, Soldier Boy, that scams his people on video games, ain't doing shit. But let's get off. Screw MGK. Dude's weird. Go
weird.
Drink some blood and whatever. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the McMahon documentary coming to Netflix September 25th.
Yeah,
end of this month.
This one was kind of up in the air whether or not it was going to happen. Anyways, because of the whole scandal going on involving him and the lawsuit against Janelle Grant, which, from my understanding, is currently on hold because WWE is it WWE and Vince, or just Vince McMahon, is being investigated by the Department of Justice for additional allegations.
That ain't good. But from what they're saying, they didn't hold any punches. They didn't pull any punches. So they said they're gonna just
they're gonna discuss, obviously, with wrestlers and his as well, interviews from the past, and they're even gonna discuss.
I think it's gonna be a very different documentary than what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, they said they will be covering the scandal involving him, WWE, and the Janelle Grant issue. So this is going to be something interesting to see. I definitely will be watching when it drops, and we'll may have to do.
I hope it's on the level of Tiger King. I hope it's on that level of Tiger King. Like,
oh, I'm never going to recover financially from this.
I hope. I'm hoping it's the level of Tiger King, but McMahon.
So speaking of docuseries, I forgot to mention something when we did our Hulk Hogan segment last week, but his biopic that was supposed to be portrayed by Chris Hemsworth, yes, the mighty Thor, who was going to portray Hulk Hogan in that TV show, has been indefinitely scrapped.
Damn.
It is not happening anymore, which sucks, because it would have been awesome to see Chris Hemsworth portray Hulk Hogan in the 80s, but because of Hulk Hogan being a racist POS, he just cost, multi-million-dollar Chris Hemsworth to lose out on a role, so
I'm sure he ain't hurting though, Chris Hemsworth. He got that Thor money, bro. He's good.
He's got that high-paid Thor money, Marvel money. So he's got that Marvel Disney money.
So let's see.
So yeah, no, this McMahon series is definitely gonna be something interesting to see, and like I said, we may have to go live after we both have watched it to discuss
Sounds like a
the
plan.
semantics of it.
Sounds like a plan. So, I think that's all we have for tonight. Are we missing anything?
Not that I could think of. During All In, they did announce future plans for 2025 with AEW. So we are having Grand Slam in Australia at the Suncorp Stadium. That's going to be February 2025. Forbidden Door will be taking place in London next year. So obviously Texas is getting the All In pay-per-view in 2025, July 12th. But London, they did promise that London will be in place doing something for 2025, and it was announced that it's going to be the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, but All In will also be returning back to London for 2026.
Again in London. I guess they found what they like.
Hey, I'm intrigued to see what Australia is going to do for their show in February next year. That's going to be something interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have a good plan. They're doing a lot of abroad stuff, which is cool. Getting out there. But yeah, I think that's all we have for you guys tonight. Like, comment, subscribe. We have a new show that's going to be coming out. We're trying to think of the name for it. We discussed it in our last episode. We got more to come, ladies and gentlemen. We're just working on it. Me and this guy we're very busy, but make sure to please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends that there's two big guys on this show just talking about some wrestling down here in the Lone Star State.
One thing I did want to touch on real quick is, yes, we have TNA Wrestling coming to San Antonio February. No, I'm sorry, not February. What the hell am I thinking about February? September 13th and 14th.
I'm going to try to make it. I might have to. I'll see about my tickets.
And speaking of wrestling, RCW, the great indie promotion in San Antonio, they are having a show that next day on Sunday, September 15th, and they have announced that they are bringing in a TNA wrestler to take on RCW.
I saw that on Facebook. Yeah,
Amir.
They're saying rumor is Moose, but I doubt it.
That would be something interesting.
The rumor is Moose, but
yeah, to anybody watching, I met some really cool people over the weekend. Told them about the podcast. Shout out to everybody who subscribed right there while we were discussing wrestling. Even got the name of a couple other people who are talk wrestling, movies, and stuff like that. So definitely going to try to work out time to either interview them or be interviewed, trying to do some joint venture cross promotion on different wrestling podcasts, man. Trying to expand our audience to various people worldwide, man. So your boys are trying to do some big things in this world of wrestling.
So please, guys, engage with us. Help us jumpstart that algorithm.
And if you have anybody out there listening and watching, if you have any ideas that you want us to discuss, if you have any ideas or topics, man, sound off in the comments below, man. We can't keep going on without active involvement from people who watch the show and have subscribed. So anybody who watches, please comment, fire emoji, poop emoji,
leave a knife.
If you guys want to watch that replay of DKZ doing his little twerk dance from the opening, and we're gonna try to
talk shit about me doing that. Talk shit about it
with some more cold opens for you guys. Got some ideas in the pocket with the assistance of AI, which we'll discuss on the side in our spare time on how we can make things happen. But until next week, again, we've got our topic discussion for the next show is favorite title and the design of the title, right?
Yep. Favorite title and belt design. Kind of a two-parted question, but kind of married. Hopefully your favorite title is your favorite design.
So let's go with favorite design of a particular title.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mine is. No, I will say that for next week.
No, it's all about. But for DKZ, this is your boy SP saying, "Peace out, East Side till we die, West Coast, baby."
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.
We two loony guys catching eyes with the hype, talking pro. Two dudes making noise, talking about pro wrestling on the podcast. Big up boys, big loony guys. We be throwing.
And we're back. Special report that we forgot to cover in our full-length show, so we got a special extra video for you guys today. Let's see. What we had forgot was this right here. Is it Brie?
Nikki
Nikki Bella.
According to TMZ Sports, Nikki Bella's husband, who is a Dancing with the Stars celebrity, has been arrested for domestic violence. This is something big, man. This is
huge.
Pretty,
I wonder what level. Was it like a shove? Is there any detail? Like a shove, a slap?
I don't know. So apparently TMZ Sports actually did release the audio of the 911 call that Nikki Bella placed, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it. So I don't know the full scope of what happened. All I know is, he was apparently intoxicated and arrested for domestic violence.
Oh man, I hate to hear this, man. She should have stayed with good old Cena there. But I mean, they wanted two different things in life. I hate seeing this anytime. Like anytime women are getting hands laid on them is never a good thing, and it quite sucks. Mm-hmm. So I hope justice is served here, and I hope the right outcome comes out for everybody.
Mm-hmm. So let me see if I could find it real quick, because I know it did get posted. I gotta see if I could find it.
Ooh.
No, that's not it. Let me see.
Poor Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
I hope nobody was seriously hurt. You know what I'm saying? Is the main thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so stale news.
Yeah. If I could find it, I will send it to you to upload into the show.
Okay.
Add with it. So apparently they did like a little description of it, or a caption of it. Radio dispatch from the Artem. This is Nikki Bella's husband. Can't not pronounce that last name. I'm not even gonna try. Domestic violence case reveals he did indeed call 911 to request medical assistance, but then added his wife Nikki Bella had thrown shoes at him. TMZ has obtained the dispatch call, in which the dispatcher says initially came in as requesting medical, but now he is stating he got into an argument with his wife, and his wife threw shoes at him. I hate TMZ Sports sometimes because it keeps pulling up a video I'm not trying to watch.
Yeah, ads, pop-ups.
Not that, it's just one. I don't care about that. Dispatcher notes there is a child on scene, medical en route, adding there's an active 415 disturbing the peace in the background, responsible. So I'm going to keep seeing if I could find the audio of the 911 call, but this, like as you said, man, this is just something sad to see and hear about.
Yeah. Well,
no, I mean, no one deserves to stay in any sort of physical, mental, verbal abuse of violence relationship.
Well, I hope justice is served, and the outcome, and whatever the outcome is, I hope it's right for everybody involved. no matter what that may be. But yeah, it's never good to see trouble at home on the home front. So, I mean, I wish him. I mean, we don't know what happened.
Nothing, but, wish her nothing but the best and hope everything's okay. And hopefully the full details and factual accuracies come out and to what happened. But you know what they always say, man, there's one side, there's another side, and then there's the actuality of what went down and happened.
So we just got to let the good old criminal justice system do its thing and investigate and see what went on. And I'm sure this is not the last we'll hear about this. I'm sure more will trickle out as we get along in the week. So we'll just have to see. Well, once again, you guys, I'm going to watch Kill Tony and eat my dinner. And y'all have a good night. This was a special report from the Ring Rundown. Good night.
We two loony guys catching eyes with a hype, talking pro wrestling, making all the